So I had an uncle that lived in a little cabin on a small ranch by himself for 50 some years. Heck of a nice guy, not real sociable. He was okay around people, but for whatever reason he wasn't comfortable if you went to meet him. So I never did. Never did. And part B of the story is I'm up by Coloma, Montana. It's a ghost town in the Garnet Range, mostly because there's this gorgeous forest here. A few deer, lots of birds, etc. And I can do my videos, tree stump wisdom, without a whole lot of interruptions except for that fly. Anyway, there was my uncle with his little cabin. I built a cabin a couple miles from here when I was in my late 20s. It was about the same size as my uncle's, even though I'd not seen my uncle's. After he passed away and I went to visit his place, I looked at the cabin. It was just like, oh man, this is the same size as the one that I built. Part C of the story is I was in Assisi, Italy for a wedding. It's an amazing place. The energy of the place is such that if you're a little bit cracked open, all these incredible things can happen while you're there. And there was a chapel, Porziancola is my pronunciation. I don't speak Italian, and that's probably not the right pronunciation for it, but that's mine. It's this little bitty place that St. Francis of Assisi had his divine revelation. I believe it's also the room that he died in umpteen years later. The place still carries the energy of those experiences. Possibly the energy was built into the place before he even got there. It's hard to say. And it's encapsulated by this basilica. Walked in the door to the basilica, you come down one of the aisles and you come around a corner and there it is. This incredibly gorgeous, beautiful little place in the most unlikely of places. I was struck speechless. I stood there and I don't know what it was, 30 seconds maybe. I had a complete life review of my life. Just screaming fast reverse, back to zero. Another of my uncle in his life, and a third one of St. Francis's life in Assisi, Italy. And I'm just kind of shaken by then. It hit me so hard, it was so unexpected. It hit so hard that I was incapable, literally incapable of complete sentences for about 3 days. But I went in that chapel and sat down in this little, I'm sure they have a word for them. To me, it was about the size of an old antique type school desk. It was a kneeling bench kind of thing. And I started hearing these melodies in here. The quest that I did with the 30 entities, one of the things I learned from that was there is a complete set of sensory receptors on another level of consciousness inside here, inside everyone. So there's what we think we hear, And then there's knowing that you hear what you don't hear. You can have auditory experiences, you can have vision experiences. Anyway, I started hearing these songs, and it was very unusual for me because up to that point, all my recording had been done at my keyboards. I didn't hear the songs first, never heard them beforehand, but I'm in this little chapel. I don't read music, I don't write music. I can hear it, play it, bring it around, so that's what I do. So all of a sudden I was hearing these melodies. I had a little notebook, and I could visualize the song, the melody, that okay, if I'm playing it in C, it's all white keys. That would be this note, that note, this note, that note. And I started writing the notes down. C, D, E, F. I know that. I know those, and I know what key I'm in. That's it, as far as musical knowledge. And a year and a half after that, I was finally done with the newest album. It's called Whispers from the Silence. It's all orchestral. It raised the bar considerably from my other recordings. And all of those songs showed up in that little chapel in Assisi, Italy, when I was pretty much dumbstruck in maybe 20 minutes. For me, it was one of the most magical places, physical places on the planet that I could go to. It was absolutely incredible there. If there's a spark of interest for anyone, and you've got any inspiration at all to go there, do it. Do it. Get there. And get a little history of the place while you're at it. I asked Divine Mother, which is my connection to the divine, what was the deal with St. Francis's life review and my life review happening just one after the other? What's going on? What is that? What's that all about? And the answer I got was, a part of who you are now is a part of who he was then.